Today I thought we could do some questions evaluating stories. So, as I said in my last video, I started writing a book, and I have no experience whatsoever with that, or writing in general. So I look a lot online at questions that you can ask yourself that either involve characters, plot, lore, history, scenery, whatever. And they kind of help you understand the world yourself, which makes it a lot easier to write, because the more you know yourself, the more you can tell other people about it, Makes sense. Simple enough. So today I have my notebook here. This is actually a notebook from My Hero Academia. Izuku Midoriyadeku uses this as his hero writing notebook. So he all the heroes he likes, he'll write about them, and whatever. But it's my favorite notebook, so I thought I would ask you some questions, and if you want to answer them, you can. I think a lot of them might be world building stuff, so that might be hard to answer, but if you want, you can just tell me what comes to your head, and I'll be writing stuff down as well. So no pressure. If you don't feel like answering, simply listen to the questions and then just let me write down my answers. That sound good? So we are starting. This website has 100 questions to help evaluate your story. I don't know if we'll do 100 questions today. Let's see how long it takes to do each one, and we'll go from there. I think that's a good idea. Setting and world building. Did I know where and when the scenes took place? Oh, I shouldn't put that there. That's going to fall and make a loud noise. Did I know when and where the scenes took place? My glasses keep falling off because I sat on them. So they're kind of bent forward. They don't sit on my face very well, but I don't wear them that often outside the house, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, next question. Was there variety in the setting? Too much repetition? Enough contrast? I feel like these aren't the type of questions that really help me. Let's see if they get better. I'm actually curious if any of you are writing books and this helps you. Let me know. Did it draw too much attention to itself at the wrong time, or not enough at the right time? Yeah. Could I picture it and experience it? Yes, but that one I don't have to write down. Did it make sense in the world and its purpose? I feel like these questions are worded weirdly. usually I go for questions that are more straight up, like, what's what's the main reason your character gets out of bed every day, that kind of stuff. Would I want to go there? Is it intriguing? I mean, I would, but it's my world, so I don't know. Would you? I feel like unless we're writing like a horror story, then usually you'd want to go there. Did having other worlds or societies benefit the story? Ooh. Other worlds or societies benefit the story. For me, there's something I was debating adding in. It's not necessarily another society, it's more just like a faction, I guess. For those that are curious, I'm writing a book that is like fantasy, magic, world-ish. I don't really know the genre. I'm not, like I said, I don't, like, I'm new to all this, so even though I'm doing it myself, I also have many questions, so I'm just gonna say it's like fantasy magic genre, if that's a genre. I feel like fantasy's too broad to just say fantasy, you know? Did the magic and world follow its own rules? Follow its own rules. Yeah, there's a lot of these that I'm just like, what? Are the costs and limitations of the magic utilized and explored? When appropriate, do we understand its boundaries? Yeah. Yeah, I tried to come up with boundaries and see how far they can be pushed, you know? Okay, next, characters. So, this isn't going to be 100 questions because I'm skipping over quite a few because, frankly, they don't make sense to me. Or I don't think they'll help very much to be answered. But, there still seems to be quite a few. Were the protagonist and other key players around complex characters? I mean, I'm still pretty early in my book. Like, obviously, the main character is pretty well constructed at this point. But I don't know, it's hard to say when your own characters are biased. Like, you have bias towards them. Because I'm already starting to, like, enjoy coming up with things for characters to do because it's like you can send them on adventures and get them to experience new things and like teach them things that they wouldn't learn otherwise. But like history wise, I don't too much like individual history yet. So I definitely could work on that. But that's not going to be until further down the line anyways. Probably pretty far down the line. We'll see what happens. Do the key characters arc? How so does it fit thematically? Do the key characters arc? So I'm guessing that means like the protagonist and the antagonist. And do they arc? They will, but they will arc. But again, that's so far down the line, because like I feel like there's so much you can build into a world that if the main two people arc right away, then that kind of takes away the whole mystery of it, don't you think? I don't know. Maybe it means like, do their stories line up? Like, even if they don't necessarily connect, are they like going parallel to each other, slowly, like getting closer? I don't know. Did the character have a ghost? If so, did it suit the story and character? No, it didn't have a ghost. I feel like that's a very specific question. Does that mean the character had to die? Or is ghost like a writing thing that I don't know about? Maybe it's like a term for... I don't know. I'm just putting no. Was the protagonist likable? Or at least tolerable? Or interesting? I like to think he's likable. I feel like for the most part, your protagonist has to be likable, because if they're not, then you're just following a character that you don't like, you know? Why would you do that? Are the characters unique enough? Not generic, unless that's the point. Yeah. I try to give my characters, pretty generic. Like, simple overall, but like each one has their individual quirks, you know? Because at the same time, I don't want to make it like, too, like every single person is like a different species and stuff. Species and stuff. You know, species. Doesn't sound like a real word. Do I know their fears? Okay, that's the kind of question that like I was referring to at the beginning. Do I know their fears? I do. Sorry if I'm not giving you enough time to answer. If you want, you can like pause or like, I don't know. I don't really know how many of you are actually gonna like write stuff down to this, but feel free to pause if you want, I guess. The only thing that the character fears. What's that quote? The only thing you should fear is fear itself, or something. Something like that. The only thing to fear is fear itself. That sounds kind of right, doesn't it? Which, I mean, like, come on. Did the characters struggle and suffer as a cost of the journey or goal? Yeah. Okay, not gonna lie. I am not getting too much new from this. This is kind of just like reaffirming things that I already kind of like cemented. So, next is conflicts. Yeah, I'm skipping complex. I'm sorry, that's just like, I don't like those questions. Plot and structure. Did the story have a clear beginning, middle, and end? No. I am maybe like a third into like, not even a third, maybe like a quarter into what I think would be like a solid foundation for the story. We still got quite a bit to go. Okay, I'm gonna take a break from writing these down because, frankly, they're not really helping me. I think I've just like gone through so many of these already that they just all kind of blend together into the same questions. But I'll still go through them and ask them, and if any come across that intrigue me, then I'll write them down again. This notebook's so cool. 将来のためのヒーロー分析 number 13. And on the back it says All Might. I think that's like from when he signed it. Okay. Where were we? Did I care about what was going on? Yes. I mean, I cared. I was the one that wrote it. Maybe the reader wouldn't care. Depends on if they like the book. See, that's the kind of thing that I don't understand with these questions. It's very, like, subjective. Was there foreshadowing? Ooh. See, because I'm not very good at writing yet, I know I should be foreshadowing. But when I do it, I feel like it's too, like, obvious. It's kind of just like, oh, that person's obviously gonna do something if that's, you know? Did the story broaden or deepen as it went? Yes, very much so. Did the protagonist react and then become more proactive? Yes, also yes. Did the protagonist have to battle inner demons? Kind of. Not necessarily demons, more just like inner struggles, I'd say. Are the characters growing and changing? Yes. Even though we're not too far like into my book, I find that quite a few characters have already developed pretty quickly. And I mean, I don't think that's a bad thing because I'm building like a whole world, there are going to be like a lot of characters. So I feel like you'll get to know each individual one at its own time. You know, like different arcs include different people and stuff, so. Were heroic deaths and sacrifices merited? Again, I'm not that far into the book, so. I mean, I wouldn't kill somebody off unless I was trying to make a point with it, you know? Because I wouldn't want somebody to die just to die. I would do it to show the reader either how dangerous the world or the life is, or to set the scene for another character to take their place. Was there a twist, surprise, or devastating cost? The ending is so far away that I don't really have a grasp on it yet, but I do have some ideas that would, I don't know if they'd be a twist, because to me they seem pretty obvious, but maybe to the reader they would. I think it's definitely a surprise, but I don't know. Were promises kept? I guess. I don't, yeah. I shouldn't have worn this sweater was cold this morning, so I got all bundled up, and now I'm sitting here and it's hot. Scene and summary. Did the writer know how to structure a scene? No, I have no idea how to structure a scene. I'm just kind of like going along with what I think. Were there any scenes weak? Should any be made stronger? Probably. I find that since this is like my first time writing literally ever, that even though I'm only on like chapter 10, I want to say, even though I'm only on chapter 10, I already go back to like chapters 1 through like 6, and my writing has already changed like significantly. There's like a huge difference. So I'm already going back and like rewording things just because it's not fluid. It doesn't make sense. It's not easy to read, you know? So I think like as I keep on progressing and learning more through experience, then I'll keep going back and editing and clearing up topics and tips and stuff. Was it cliche? I don't think it's cliche. I mean, it's kind of just like a fantasy magic book. I don't know. I mean, if you like that kind of thing, then I think you'd like it. But if you don't, then maybe you'd find it cliche, you know? It's kind of like anything. You know, they fall into different genres. And then, I mean, I'm really enjoying writing it, and I think it's pretty good so far. So, I'm gonna say no. Pacing. Whoa, deja vu. What? Did the overall pace serve the story? I think my pace is going good so far. I feel like there's a lot to keep writing about, but at the same time, I don't want to stay stuck on one scene for too long, because then it becomes like just boring and dried out, you know, like. Did the audience follow and understand the story? How am I supposed to know that? Was the story bigger than what was on the page? Okay, I like that question. I think it is. I spent a long time before I even started writing with my little notebook, and I basically just created the lore of the world, and it became like a world before I even started writing. So yeah, I think it's bigger than what's on the page. I had so much fun with that, just like creating the lore. I still do. Sometimes I'll like, I mean not sometimes, all the time, I'll be writing and I'll think of something and I'll be like, oh, and then I gotta go back and add it to like the history of the world or something. Is there a variety of characters? I think so, yes. Was there head hopping? Does that mean like switching point of views? In that case, yes. I mean, the book isn't necessarily from a first person perspective. It's like a third person perspective with like narration. So it changes depending on who's like the main person in the arc, I guess. The main character's been the main person in each arc, but like there have been different parts where it like switches to somebody else's point of view. Does that make sense? Did the characters grow together? I think they are slowly. Yes, slowly, but I think they are. Do they work well together? Yes, I think so. But at the same time, like I already have two characters, like the main character and then like someone that's close to them. But I don't want them to just have one. like I said, I think I'm just gonna do like arcs with different characters. You get to meet some will come back, some won't. It just depends on what happens. Was the dialogue generic? I tried to make it real as possible. Like when you're reading it, it's not like Shakespearean. It's very just like straightforward, get to the point. But anything quotable? Maybe. I do like coming up with dramatic lines and stuff. So I find that fun. So maybe. I mean, I feel like most lines have been written already, but I try to come up with my own as much as possible. Could I picture what was being described accurately? I feel like I have trouble with that. Not because I can't picture it, but because I forget to write down enough detail in the scene or in how somebody looks to make the reader picture it, because I can picture it fine, but when the reader is reading it, they wouldn't know what I'm picturing without writing it down, right? So yeah. Was the style at a professional level? I've read some books that are high level books that I don't think were very professional level, so it's hard to say. I think I'm liking what I'm writing, so to me, yes, it is. To somebody else, it may not be, but to me, it is. Was punctuation proper? I have trouble with that, but my Google Docs usually tells me, so I think I'm good. Continuity errors, that I might have trouble with. When a lot happens at once and then you forget to finish off something that should have had an ending or a stopping point, but it just keeps going. Yeah. Was the title effective? I have a running title, but I'm not sure if I want to keep it yet. I like it. My first title was too generic. I think there's already a ton of books named that, so I was like, I can't do that. I have a running title right now that I like as well, but we'll see. The chapter length's appropriate? I think so. So far, like I said, I'm on 10, and some are pretty short, some are 4 or 5 pages, but I think for the most part, but they're between 10 and 15, I want to say. Probably closer to 10. I think probably around 10 pages per thing, chapter. Is the writer satisfied with their work? Yeah, I am actually. That's the last question. I am extremely satisfied with my work so far. More so than I thought I would be, honestly. I didn't think I'd enjoy it, and I'm loving it. And I didn't think I'd be very good at it. And I mean, again, personal bias, but I don't think it's half bad. So I hope that one day somebody else can read it and they'll enjoy it. Even if nothing comes of it, even if it's just a book that I never publish or never do anything with, I would like to at least get one printed, make a cover and a back cover and put it in a book and just have it for me. I think that would be awesome. But one step at a time, so we'll see what happens. I appreciate you being here and listening, and hopefully you enjoyed. If you didn't actually write anything down from this or answer these questions, that's completely fine. I didn't even write down very much, so. But it was still nice. It's still good to go over and ask yourself questions that you wouldn't necessarily ask yourself. So, thank you for watching. I appreciate you. I hope you're taking care of yourself. And I will see you later.